and battle for top 8 at the World Championship. You win this, you're through to the single elimination bracket. It's KRÜ versus Team Liquid to kick off the day.
6 players who ahead of this event were World Championships debutants. But achieves the way they're all playing, they do not look like it on the pitch.
Yes, it's been a wild up and down series for everybody here at the World Championship, but both of these teams seem to have settled in quite nicely. A lot of opportunities here for KRÜ to prove their worth. I think it might be an uphill battle though. There's, in my head, a lot of pressure on Drufinho to really execute and make sure the offense is consistently getting started. If he's not breaking through that Liquid line, KRÜ might find themselves backed up fairly often.
Well, neither of them had it easy in the previous round. Both going to 7. Team Liquid against Complexity, and KRÜ against their compatriots in NIP. An upset in that regard from KRÜ Esports. Team Liquid starting a little bit slower against Complexity, but not starting slowly in this one, because that ball almost makes its way straight into the KRÜ Esports goal early doors. Now, between these two teams, Achieves, what is the key that each team has to focus on?
Nice couple of bumps here from Liquid off the backboard, but nothing going for Liquid. I think the biggest thing for Liquid is probably going to be a Chronic and how he matches up, because if he's going to go up and fight Drufinho or drops for that ball, he's just got to have a nice solid challenge game. And as we mentioned, Drufinho already, if he's beating people, KRÜ might find themselves in a few better spots, but the problem here is Liquid's just got so many different options. It's not all on a Chronic's shoulders. You always have the mechanics of a Toe and Oski to fall back on, and there might just be more options available to Liquid, so that's why you got to favor him, I think.
Atto, of course, as well, who just loves going for demos. Clearing the KRÜ path is something he'll be desperate to do. Here he comes in now, going for a clean 50, but Brad is able to come away from it. Team Liquid starting on top. Atto can't quite redirect that one towards net. And Drufinho can just keep Oski at bay, send it forward himself. This is what we saw from KRÜ a lot earlier on against NIP. Not afraid to have the ball. Counter-attack so effective for them. That was almost another one. Actually, that's a great touch from Drufinho. He comes back in, but Oski clears.
He just dodged a demo, not able to quite hang onto the ball in the middle. Trying to push a Chronic off the play as well. Atto actually somehow comes down with the ball, and he's not quite able to turn it in. Little help from Oski, goes off the bar. Liquid probably should have been on the board there.
Team Liquid currently on 4 shots to KRÜ's 1. It's been a dominant start from them, as Atto still tries to clear out their defenders. Somehow they survive for now. Oski in the corner. He gets it going. Drufinho into the center. That one's coming into the middle now for Atto. It's been a great season for both these teams. Top 8 at Majors for KRÜ, top 4 at Majors for Team Liquid. How they'd love to guarantee the top 8 here.
Long way to go yet, though. KRÜ just got to be focused on making sure you hold on to the ball. Right now, it's that follow-through support player on KRÜ, struggling to really get a clean challenge on the ball. And Liquid definitely in the driving seat here at the start of things.
Atto will take a touch into the center and try to follow it himself. Brad's already up, but KRÜ being bypassed for pace is rare. It's worked in the end, though. The fake in the center, Drufinho just charges it down.
Yeah, it works out. Atto beat one guy. He beat Brad, but they weren't expecting drops to wheel back around through the rear of the rotation, just take out all the support. Liquid caught ready to go forward, not thinking about what happens if people can't turn to smoke. And KRÜ waltz right on through.
Liquid so unfortunate not to be here last season. When they came together, I believe it was at the start of spring, and they just took everybody apart. They were at the London Spring Major, but by then it was too late to get the points needed for a World Championship entry. Now here they are in Düsseldorf. And they're taking it to him, but they're behind here against KRÜ. Drufinho, what a read from him as well. KRÜ look considered at the moment.
Looking solid enough, but thankfully Atto, no boost in the tank to convert this. And Liquid, now you got to prove your advantage. Yes, you were ahead in terms of pressure, but you've conceded, and now you're kind of late into the game. Drops with a chance to put this one away and smacked back down to the KRÜ side.
It was Atto, the man who's looking like an absolute menace in the KRÜ defense, who got the clearance, got it long as well. Now here he still goes, sweeping from left to right, stealing boost, hoping to clear a path for Oski and a Chronic, but KRÜ get it away again. The defending has been firm so far, I would say. As Atto tries to take his time and get around the ball. A Chronic up against Brad. Once or twice we've seen Liquid players beating KRÜ defenders. Actually, when the ball comes into the center, there's no one there from Liquid. On the other hand, here's Drufinho. He can't quite sneak it in. It remains 1-0.
But you can see Atto trying to go for some of those demos you were talking about at the start of the series, Cole, seeing if he can open up some gaps in that KRÜ Esports. Now this time it's a Chronic in front of the ball, but unfortunately Liquid struggling to maintain possession at the moment.
Drufinho turned away from that one. I was wondering if he'd get a bump or two, take a leaf out of Atto's book Instead, the only player he bumped was his teammate, and here is that, so he gets the flip reset, it's underneath almost Brad, he can only get it to Oski, and it's 1-1.
Brad really tied up in a nasty spot here on the backboard. He should really dismount probably a little bit earlier, but what if his teammate won the ball to the corner? He might have had to adjust, who can say? Ends up handcuffing himself on the backboard, can't get a solid pinch across the net, and easily scooped up by the Ox.
Atto, for now, the most important player for Team Liquid. Will anybody from KRÜ step up to be the same? Brad up against Oski. Chronic leaves that one for Atto. Takes a couple of touches. Oski didn't go for Drufinho. Should he have done? He didn't in the end, so Drufinho can charge it forward towards the Liquid goal. KRÜ Esports keeping their solidity despite conceding for the first time in the series. Drufinho now wants to pinch this one inwards, but Oski gets the clearance.
There's, of course, that staple Brad in the backside of the KRÜ rotation. You can always trust him to be back there and able to buy you some type of time, but right now, Liquid seeing if they can find a way forward. Final 15, who gets the last shot?
Atto's trying to make it Team Liquid, but he's challenged by drops. This time a KRÜ aerial pre-jump has met a Team Liquid aerialer. Chronic's there, Oski's clearing the path again. Drufinho clears it as far as he can. Brad's up, Atto takes his time. Good composure from him, and it's overtime game 1.
Good start to both teams here in the first opening act. Ooh, never mind. As soon as you say that, straight whiff from drops, what are you going to do? He'll steal away the corner boost and make the best of a bad situation. And Liquid actually having to buy a bit of time here.
Ooh, that's too lackadaisical there from Atto. And it was almost punished, not quite. He gets away with one, he won't get away with a second. Oski up against Brad. Him and Drufinho not quite sure who to take it. Who's going to be the player that steps up, drops his left all alone. Drufinho almost goals in. Oski should be able to finish, but somehow doesn't. It's still 1-1 overtime.
You love to see Brad's decision making there. He's like, look, if he scores it, he scores it. I'm going to make sure I can clear it if it goes off the bar, and it paid off. KRÜ survive. And Drufinho, a little bit of space to work with in the middle. Can he open up a gap? It's actually himself who gets demoed. Atto wins the battle of wills.
How KRÜ would love to win a demo-heavy game like this. It's 7 for Team Liquid, 8 for KRÜ. The players were waving at each other over the monitors before proceedings even started. A little bit of spice to this matchup. The battle for the top 8, but also the battle to defeat the opponents in front of you. Drufinho's up. Atto pre-jumps well as well. Pushes it back, drops, has to go again, but he can't. He does in the end via Oski. A Chronic start, drops by past him. He does this to the ceiling. Brad's coming in, but it's going to be prodded out wide again. KRÜ well and truly in this overtime, though.
Well broken up, and unfortunately, Drufinho just missing that corner boost. Ended up going to his teammate, though. Maybe something here. It's wide open. Drops will convert 2-1. Game 1 to KRÜ.
They had to battle. They had to take some bumps and bruises. Atto was trying to tilt them off the planet, but it wasn't happening. And in the end, a little bit of pace from drops, and he gets it in the middle there. KRÜ, it was not their most explosive performance, but it was a different side of them. It was a ground-out win. And as you go further in tournaments like these achieves, they are equally important.
Yes, it doesn't matter how you get them, as long as that W goes in your favor. And a rare miscue as well from Oski in the challenge game there in the overtime. That was crazy to just see him try and rush a ball that he was clearly second best to. A certain miscue on his side in terms of the decision-making process, but what can you do? Certainly wouldn't be the first pro to take a bad challenge, and he certainly won't be the last, but what can you do? Give up one game, that's okay. You rally back. It's still best of 7. You got a lot of time to work with Liquid, but KRÜ, you'll take that all day.
We've seen a few famous open net misses in recent times, and this tournament's been no different. So when I saw drops approaching there, I was thinking, uh-oh, here we go. Could be another moment of the tournament, but no, this time the composure was there. He looked from all those previous replays from players past and made no mistake putting it away. And KRÜ, they're not making any mistakes. I think that's what they showed Team Liquid. If Liquid are going to score, my goodness, they're going to have to earn it.
Yeah, that is part of the thing that's really been developed up next in that whole South American region as a whole. Because for a while, they were just known to have this blistering offense. That was a lot to keep up with. And as time has gone on, now they're saying, yeah, we still got that, but the defense has definitely leveled up, to say the least. Multiple top defensive performances for multiple teams with South America talent on them. So Liquid going to have to find another way forward here going into the next game of the series.
I mean, KRÜ, even in their last matchup with NIP, there were goals all over the place. Oski tries a little floor pinch for the start of game 2. Certainly not afraid to go toe-to-toe with Atto, if that's what it comes to. Oski, he's going to shoot here. Could be an early lead for Liquid, but it's saved there by Brad King, and Drops sweeps up after him.
Just a piece off the spoiler for Brad, and Drops is happy to take all the time he can there. KRÜ, not a lot of boost in the tank, and they're having to do a lot with a little.
That's how he shoots, wants to put it in the corner, and this time he does get it through. It's 1-0.
Couldn't quite do enough, it seems. A Chronic, great fight for the ball, just left it totally uncontested here for Atto. Picked his best spot, caught Drufinho leaning a little bit, ready to defend the middle of the net, just able to squeeze it behind him, get a tick off the post.
Atto, who was using that beautiful Borussia Dortmund decal in game number 1, has switched to it for this one. I wonder if we'll see it again. Available in the store, if you haven't picked them up already. The Bundesliga decals, love that. Drufinho would love to get this one past a Chronic. Brad's going to try and keep it going, but Oski's there, and you're shaking your head at Chiefs. KRÜ looking a little bit looser in game 2. It could be 2-0 as well, getting away with it. KRÜ not quite up to scratch here on Forbidden Temple. Some
weird approaches. Drufinho also missing the ball, the second whiff from a KRÜ player here in game 2, but it's okay. A lot of time to recover here, 4 minutes. Take a deep breath, you get back on the horse.
Drufinho maybe wants to slow things down. Instead, he just sends it forwards. Another launch. We're trying to buy some time and space in this game. Drops to the ceiling. Atto meets him. Now it's a Chronic up against Oski.
It is an interesting thing to consider. You wonder, you know, if you think about that interview with Drufinho, the head-to-head, so to speak, with Oski, saying, you know, they're not that good, you know, on the ground. So you'd think maybe they'd try and, you know, do a little less punting and always try and force a trap or something if you think that's the way to go. But how much can you really put stock into the trash talk as Drops almost puts one in his own net? Thankfully, it finds its way to safety.
There's also the ego of the player as well. If you think these guys think they're the best in the air, you want to prove them wrong. You want to show that Oski ain't all that. But sometimes you have to accept Oski is all that. But I think that was the respawn save.
Just in time, not out of the woods just yet. Drops, you need a second touch here, and he will find a double tap and force Liquid to reassess the situation.
You just know as well that Liquid would love to score a dribble play against KRÜ. Short set style, but here we have it in the air, it's dropped to it, falls to, and it's 1-1 now. Absolutely
froze the defender here, really committed on this potential double tap from Brad. A Chronic staring all the way at him, and he said, oh boy, this is going to be a heck of a shot to try and save. Great placement from Drops all the way to the far post. Too much of the net to cover for a Chronic.
The volume's raising as well within the stadium. We can almost hear them from here, the players, their shouts at each other, the war cries. Atto, he converts with a pass from Oski. Again, it's saved by KRÜ. Their 6th save in game number 2. Down the other end, that one might sneak straight. It is Drops, it's going to be 2-1.
Oh, Oski not able to find enough of the ball on the clear. He's definitely in position to keep it out, but it doesn't find any pace. He might have actually pinched that off the bar, and it might have just came off a little bit soft. Either way, Liquid concede another one. Safety of that corner, man, can't be understated. Would have been very difficult in that situation, but either way, again, another lead for KRÜ.
Almost straight from the kickoff for Team Liquid, and they can't say they haven't had their chances. That little kickoff strike made it 8 shots for Team Liquid and only 1 goal. KRÜ have had 3, and they've scored from 2 of them. That's pretty decent stats if you ask me, as Brad sends it to the ceiling. A Chronic keeps it going. He has Oski to his left, Atto right behind him. This is what Team Liquid need. All 3 players involved in the attack, but it's not happening. One demo clears them apart. How's this one bouncing? Oski read it. Oski doinks it. A Chronic's up. Can he get the double touch? This could be stunning. He's going to go down. Oh. He's going to miss it. And Brad King gets it as far as Atto, but Drufinho should sweep that right up.
Brad missed the first clear, and that's that half chance that you got to convert, but this passing play is absolutely brilliant. They find a little bit of extra space. Again, KRÜ found themselves on their own half, having to spread out, grab a little bit of boost, and that's why there's all that open space in the midfield, and Drops trying to make himself as big as possible, can't defend the pass and the shot, gets crossed on, and a great shot from Atto to get this back to level.
Yeah, you can make yourself as big as possible, but you will still look minute compared to large Oscar. He gets that ball into the center. It's good composed play after a couple of misses. A few missed opportunities here from Team Liquid. They needed the decision-making to be precise, and it was. Drops, though, showing off that better ground play. Has a Chronic in front of him. Can't quite get past him, at least for now. It's to the backboard. He wanted to pick out Brad in the center, but a Chronic was tracking his man.
Oh, nice.
And now that touch from Brad, not quite ideal.
Got it back to his teammates, though, and bought a little bit of time for everyone to get reset here. And they will have to concede possession, but they're in position.
Chronic has no boost at all. Not a great situation to be in. He managed to get 100 in the end, but his teammate just disappears in front of him. Thankfully, no one fancied the ball from KRÜ, so Acronic can go. He wanted that follow-up from the backboard. KRÜ are defending it doggedly at the moment, jealously covering that backboard. Here's Oski. Drafinio punts it forward. Acronic's coming in now. Acronic needs to get a little bit more involved for my liking. This can happen to Team Liquid. Every now and then he gets trapped at the back as his two teammates try and do too much. Oski's there. Team Liquid still behind in this series in game 2. Drafinio almost past one. Brad has to scamper backwards. Does just in time. 30 seconds left.
Oh, another one!
Right though. It's Oski and it's in the top left.
Oh, Brad, you keep this tight one out and you go, hang on, I need a little bit of help here, but his one teammate goes for boost, but Oski, oh, what can you say? Talk about dotting one into a beauty of a spot in the net. That was huge.
Yeah, the angle was tighter than I think I even realized at the time. But Team Liquid have their lead. How's their defending? That's a nice touch out wide to Oski, who could swallow a few more seconds and chase it up himself. Gets it over one. Acronic leaves Brad to the ball because he knows that Atto's coming in. Atto to the backboard. Team Liquid still on the attack. KRÜ need to turn this one around. They need to get possession of the ball.
Oh,
but there's one demo, and then for fun, Acronic flip resets.
And KRÜ, they actually took a big risk here. They went forward. You can see as soon as, I believe it was Drafinio, as soon as he landed there in the midfield, immediately trying to shove through that Liquid midfield, find his own demo to maybe start some type of counterattack with under 10 seconds, but fortunately went back the other way. The demo came through for Liquid. The lead extends to 2, and this series is going to be all tied up.
Yeah, KRÜ made it nervy at the end there for Team Liquid. You can see why they were pushing up so much. Can't begrudge them it. With only one goal the difference, but Team Liquid were able to stand up to the task. And now the waves come back, desperate to get some attention from their opponents. Say, hey, you see that? We're pretty good too.
Yeah, it's hard to miss that Oski absolute banger of a top left shot there. 499 on the scoreboard. 6 shots, but only 1 goal. But boy, was that 1 goal a beauty. If I could hit that shot every day, oh man, that was great.
You take a 1 in 6 hit rate if that was the one.
Absolutely. If I had that type of shooting capability, that'd be amazing.
Here it is. Look at this. Look at that lovely strike there from Oski. And to be fair, Team Liquid needed that though, because that was the goal that put them in the lead. That was the one that made it 3-2. The fourth goal was really neither here nor there as KRÜ had overcommitted. And Team Liquid were still struggling to get the ball in the back of the net. KRÜ's defending is a seriously powerful weapon right now in this series.
Yes, it's really good to be able to say that you're able to keep out some really tough defenders, but when you got players like Acronic wreaking havoc throughout the midfield and on your defensive line, coming through, taking boost, it gets dangerous real quick. He's having to work real hard out here against this KRÜ defense, but Liquid definitely still out in the lead there. Over 12 shots in game 2, significant margin in their favor in terms of overall offensive pressure from Liquid.
Acronic apparently more introverted online than in real life, and I'm not quite sure I'd say the same for the way he plays Rocket League, because he is a player that never shies away from the spotlight, sometimes gets a little bit penned back by Atto and Oski, but desperate for the ball. Here's another example, air dribbling from one side to the next. As we go to game 3, KRÜ will be relatively pleased of how this opening couple of games have started. Can they convert it? Can they keep it going? Yes, they can, with drops finding those.
Now that is a nasty bit of pass and shoot. Brad just takes the open space, lifts it out to Drafinio, and drops. Oh man, he's showing Oski, yeah, I can put one in the top left corner too. A great bit of passing from KRÜ Esports to open up the scoring.
The battle for top left superiority swings back in the direction of the Brazilians. Oski, he goes to the ceiling, drops it underneath it, puts it out wide to the side, but Acronic's there, he's looming, but his shot was weak.
Terrifying there for KRÜ. You never want to see that soft clear just rebound back into the middle of the box for a free follow-up. KRÜ fortunate that the placement wasn't quite there on it. Certainly not expecting such a weak clear, as that one could have been in the top right from Acronic. Not quite able to squeeze it under the bar, but he did beat a defender.
Team Liquid beginning to swarm though. Here's Atto, he's still got the boost to play with. He gets the flip reset. Oh, but his touch knocks it backwards as far as Acronic! And Acronic backflips it home.
Wasn't sure if this was gonna stick on the line or pop out. Atto doing his best to keep it in, and Oski says, go for it, Acronic, do your worst. And just enough. Great reactions as that one almost got over his head, but able to keep it in frame and tie things up in short order.
Yeah, to smush that one home. It wasn't clean, it wasn't beautiful in the end, but it was more than enough to get Team Liquid on the board in game number 3. Now look at the space that Chronic's got. Oski, he gets onto the back. Oh, KRÜ Esports, they're defending. It's leaving so many gaps, and Team Liquid are charging through them.
Straight off the kickoff, it's just a straight draw into the back right corner, and KRÜ just decided, well, we're off grabbing boost on one side. The guy who went for the kickoff is going to go to midfield, so everything in the world is open. And Oski says, yeah, don't give me that.
Let's hope as this series continues, KRÜ will have a little bit more midfield presence than they showed there. Instead, they've got the ball on the floor. If that pre-match interview is to be believed, that is where they'll want it. You're right, Achieves. I think that's the smart play. Brad is high. Follows it himself. What's Oski going to do is what he's wondering. Bypasses drops. Jaffinio's there, and a little bit of bother as well, though, because he's heading backwards towards his own goal. This clearance can't be too long because of it, and a couple of KRÜ players have to both go into it. Brad tries to make a repeat of game number 1, where KRÜ got a freebie. I think it was drops on that occasion, but it's just not happening. Team Liquid, they're rotating well.
Yeah, again, cycling through that midfield. They force that third man in Brad from KRÜ to push so far forward to cover up space, because Liquid consistently able to find some type of demo, be it through a Chronic or a Toe. Somebody is out there making KRÜ cover a lot of ground, and on the respawn as Brad is denied by Oski. They get the boost steal, so can KRÜ turn this into something here? Is a little bit of a double commit from Team Liquid, but they've got the time to recover.
Yeah, KRÜ at the moment, they've got all the possession right now in territory. It's been a couple of minutes, they'll be enjoying this, but Team Liquid, they get it right back again, and it's a Chronic taking to the stars, getting it over Brad. Flip resetting to the stratosphere.
Huge shot from a Chronic, little bit of space to work with, finally uncontested through the midfield, and it was just sizing up the timing, and Brad, try as he might, he knows what that's like. He's used to doing that to people. He wasn't too surprised to see that one get converted.
You see a Chronic up, and you don't have too long to make your decision. You have to attack it or you have to defend deep.
Yep.
In the end, it was the attack. And in that situation, it was wrong. But Ato's in a little bit of trouble there, an awkward position from him. Gets in as far as he can. The demo compounds things for Team Liquid, but Oski, good pace from him. Speed, once again, beating KRÜ to the ball. And that's something I've seen over and over again in this series. Team Liquid beating their opponent in the air.
Ooh, Oski through everyone, and Ato's going to steal it. Oh, man, he did so much work.
They'll love that, though. A ground-based goal. Oski beckons Jaffinio in, I think it was. Pops it over him, and there was the finish from Ato. Hey, whoa, you're shaking your head. That's a lovely finish from Ato.
It was huge. That was just a shake of my head in pure awe. I didn't know Oxes were that nimble.
Here's drops. Can he smash one right back? Gets the backflip on Ato. Jaffinio there, round the corner from him. KRÜ suddenly 3 goals down. How has that even happened?
Out of nowhere. It kind of just came bang, 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 didn't it? Oh,
2 goals down. How has that even happened?
Well, it's happened because Trevino says, yeah, we got to get this one back down to size and in a playable spot. Nice 50 from Brad up in the ceiling, and you already knew KRÜ was going to be playing fairly tight support because they want to be able to try and outpace any defender that comes through, so ready for the nice 50 off the ceiling, and they'll get one back, but still a long way to go.
Not a bad kickoff either from drops, although we have run out of boost, of course, as he used all of it to get to the ball, so that's just yield that one towards Oski. And now drops can come in. Suddenly KRÜ feeling a little bit more alive. Wow, drops dancing with it in the air. Jaffinio into the net, into the corner, sorry. Here's Brad, he wants to put it into the net. But Ato showed all of his composure there. To take a touch, dribble it away. Drops gets a couple of them, gets the flip reset as well, but it's all too slow, and KRÜ can't really build.
And Liquid still continuing to stick with that thought process of, look, if we can, someone's just going to go deep through that rotation. You're going to see Ato, he's going to steal that corner boost, and he's going to go right into the middle of that KRÜ rotation. A Chronic doing it as well, trying to see if he can find some demos. Nobody connects on this go-through, but it's that type of play from Liquid that's really making KRÜ have to work so hard to get so much field presence.
KRÜ upping the pace though. Jaffinio gets the extra touch into the center. Chronic was just waiting for it, and the KRÜ players didn't really believe that it was going to happen. You have to take some risks with a minute left and not bump into your teammates. That's step one. Oh, wow, it's a fireworks display. Who's going to steal it? Ato gets it again. He's the fastest stealer in the West,
Oh, man. Quick draw Ato for sure. Double demo. Ato got a double demo the other day that let Oski hit another nice double flip reset on land. So a nice bit of physicality again coming through for Liquid. They will keep KRÜ at arm's length here in Game 3, and they will very likely, barring a complete meltdown, proceed to 2-1.
Yeah, I think those sorts of goals, those more trollish finishes, will be the icing on the cake for Team Liquid. They would love to get under the skin of KRÜ Esports, and as this series is continuing, It's seeming like that's exactly what Team Liquid are doing. KRÜ starting to look slightly shaken and frustrated. Forlorn figures right now. Over here, going to try and talk to each other. That bravado that we normally associate with them is not really happening, being squashed by the Team Liquid roster.
Yeah, I think it would definitely be wise here if you're KRÜ. I certainly would take my time out if I was on that team.
Oh, for sure.
Certainly not. I don't think it's any type of significant, change you have to make going forward. It's just you can't keep getting hit. That's really all that it is there. There's 6 demos for Team Liquid, as there's a 6th goal for Team Liquid as well here in Game 3, but this one not even down to physicality, just Brad trying to find a solid clear and just let it go on a little too long.
Team Liquid standing up. There he is, there's Atto. He was on his all 10 toes right there, screaming something to the KRÜ Esports players. Not sure what that was for a goal that takes you 6-2 up, but they will know that KRÜ may be a wee bit tilted at the moment, and Team Liquid not going to be polite about that fact, Chiefs. They will continue to squeeze down on that pressure and compound it as much as they can.
Very well-deserved win there for Liquid. I mean, that was a standout game from just about everybody, I think. A lot of shots, a lot of passes that, unfortunately for Oski in his scoreline, got stolen away from him. But what can you do if you're KRÜ Esports? You really just got bullied off the pitch here. I mean, the demo stats look pretty similar, but you think about the quality of the demos as we look at the high-performance replay for Mobile 1. I mean, Liquid's just hitting them when it really counts.
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful opening goal, but suddenly it was, 3-1, and these 2 goals happened so fast for Team Liquid. One at 2:50, and then the next one from the kickoff, it was a chronic. And suddenly 3-1, and KRÜ are chasing. And Team Liquid love when their opponents are chasing. They can just pull them apart from every direction, sprint around them, and attack them from every which angle.
That's the other half of the equation, right? Because it's not like, oh, they scored six goals off of just demos. There were plenty of goals in that game that went in just because, yeah, we've got the mechs, and if you don't have the correct challenge angle with the right speed, we're going right past you. That happened more than once in Game 3 there.
And now, in this tactical timeout, KRÜ will certainly be discussing the fact they have to go toe-to-toe with Team Liquid a little bit more than they are. This is not a version of KRÜ that we've seen. Quiet, timid, bullied off the pitch is the word that you use. Normally, even if KRÜ go down, they go down swinging. But there's not looking like there's a lot of fight in them right now, and it's because of this roster right here.
The worst part is they're sitting over there, you're sitting there, imagine your KRÜ right now.
Yeah.
You're sitting over there like, guys,
they're chilling.
How are we going to win this game? And like, you briefly look up and you see Liquid just sitting there, haha, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah,
waving at each other, goofing off, and you're like, oh boy.
When you're intense and your opponents are doing the YMCA,
yeah,
you know that you're in trouble.
We're getting hustled right now.
Yeah, right? Well, hopefully for KRÜ, there will be a plan B currently being utilized. The good news for them is that they got that first game. They're only 1 game behind. It's not the end of the world, but it definitely felt like it there on Game 3.
That was certainly commanding from Liquid for sure. Can't question that. So going into Game 4, if you need to make changes, it's got to start with not getting eliminated. I think if you get demoed, fine, but it better be when your team has the ball and not when your team doesn't. Because when your team doesn't have the ball and you're getting demoed, then KRÜ's running into problems. It's just too much space to cover with how many mechs Liquid has available on their team. It's just too much to ask, I think.
KRÜ Esports head to Utopia Coliseum, needing to stand up and be countered. And now they're being countered because a Chronic has it in the corner, wants to get that extra touch but can't quite do it. Drops can come forward. This is what KRÜ need. They need someone just to take the initiative. But Team Liquid, credit to them, is by no means just KRÜ playing badly. Team Liquid are defending on the front foot, and KRÜ are being squeezed.
Yeah, it really is we're just going to throw as much at you as possible, and something's going to stick to the wall just because there's so many things flying at you that you have to constantly be aware of. If it's not getting demoed, you have to go charge this air dribble, and once you get off the air dribble, now you have to think about where Oski's positioned, and then a Chronic's just going to come storming through, and it's absolutely a barrage of things to consider constantly for KRÜ Esports on defense.
Oski shoots, and Oski almost gets it in. Jofinho, he sends it higher. Chronic's going to try and keep it going. Oski behind him. Look, shot after shot, opportunity after opportunity right now for Team Liquid. KRÜ had the opening 30 seconds of it, but Team Liquid came back stronger. Drops now, though. Does get it over 1. Brad's arriving. Is there a pass for him? Yes, there is, to himself. gets to the backboard. Chronic was waiting, and Team Liquid, when they are being called to defend, looks solid as anything.
Yeah, because they're really not having to play extended amounts of defense. That is another thing you have to credit Liquid for. They don't spend a lot of time on their half. As soon as they can, it comes out, and there's Oski forcing Brad to cover all that open space so we can't take a quality 50. And then once again, KRÜ just shoved back into their own corner, and Liquid saying, good luck, get it by us if you can.
Oh, I think they might be about to get it past KRÜ. A Chronic, the double tap, threads the needle.
Just a little bit of space, rips it off Dravinho, just calls his bluff and says, you're not hitting the ball. I know you're going to let it go and try and fake me out, so I look stupid, but I'm going to do the reverse to you. It's you who's going to look dumb, and I'm scoring.
A Chronic said a lot with not too many touches there. But all that matters is what it says at the top. The punctuation of the 1-0 lead. Drops into the corner, a Chronic's charging him down. This is a massive opportunity for Team Liquid to really keep swinging at their opponents, send them down and out. They've had their timeout, they've changed tactics, they've started this game better. Still Team Liquid take the lead. Still they have this arrogant swagger about them, which you love to see if you're a Team Liquid fan. But it can backfire. Team Liquid have got shaky games in them, they've got mistakes in them. If they can avoid those, this should be their series, it would seem. But Atto, he's high. He goes to the backboard, can't quite get the redirect, and Dravinho can get it away to a Chronic.
Yeah, it's the only clear Dravinho has because he's not fully aware of where Liquid is, and he comes back the other way, popped off the post, and second chance here for Dravinho. Soft clear, third shot denied by Brad. KRÜ surviving, and that's the right move. Brad will try and slow things down just so everyone can catch their breath. And Liquid are going to have to hesitate themselves to reset the attack as Oski saying, no, Dravinho, you don't get to hit the ball for free. You got to go through me first.
That's so mean. That's the backboard, though, like a pawn, blocking another pawn there. A Chronic wants to flip reset. Currently 11 shots to KRÜ's 1.
Wild.
Is what Team Liquid have. Utter dominance now in Game 4 after they work themselves up into the stupor that they're in.
And again, you do have to credit the KRÜ defense. This has been a brutal Game 4. An insane task to defend here. And the fact they've only allowed 1 is astounding.
And they even might get the turnaround as well. 1 counter, and all this Team Liquid hard work could be undone in an instant. But Dravinho's missing the ball there. Someone needs to come in. Someone needs to demand it for KRÜ. But the touch again is loose. It's only as far as Oski, who gets the dunk in the sky, wants to turn it into a flip reset. He is keeping the ball away from all 3 KRÜ players to allow a Chronic in. Atto's going to get a sniff of it, but Team Liquid, they still have this nervy 1-0 lead.
Ooh, okay. Finally, a small breakout here for KRÜ. Can you control the ball and maintain possession? Oh, the speed from Chronic, just brutal.
Atto has full faith in Oski to be able to make that save, and Oski with the wave dash, the pace that he shows, overdrops now. It's so easy for Oski, and it's 2-0 for Team Liquid.
Trying so hard to just get that ball going back the other way, and they can't seem to find a way to break through that challenge game from Team Liquid on their own half. It's too difficult for KRÜ, at least here in Game 4. They've been bending, but finally snapped there at the end. And Liquid, now you just can punt the ball around a little bit and say, GG, go next.
Yeah, this one is looking like it's a long way away for KRÜ Esports right now. And when I say this one, I mean this matchup, this series. Not even necessarily this game, which might be about to go 3-0, depending on if Oski can follow up on what he started. Not quite there, but Team Liquid will be overjoyed. This is a version of them that can make it into the top 8 of the World Championships. And you know what, Achieves? Can go to the top 8 as one of the favorites.
Yeah, they're certainly playing well enough to do it at the moment. Hang your hat on this performance if you're Liquid, but the job's not done. Yeah, you're very likely going to be up 3-1, but it would not be the first time we've seen a team get into this situation and crumble. KRÜ, obviously, it's a mountain to overcome. The game's not over yet. Still another 5 minutes to go. Can you find an answer?
And no tactical timeout, of course, for KRÜ. They've already used their wild card. The ace up their sleeves has been placed on the table, and Team Liquid still managed to more than win the hand. It was comfortable for them. So many points shared around all 3 of them. A Chronic getting involved in the attack as well is the best version of Team Liquid. 14 shots in any context of the lot, but compared to the fact that KRÜ had 2, is a massive, massive Liquid performance.
Did they have 2? I can't count it. I don't know. Either way.
2 overall. Wait, right there. The two
Oh, I'm
below
looking
KRÜ.
there, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the quick one. Although the people are... Anyway, sorry, we've got multiple screens over here, but we're just enjoying this Team Liquid dominance every way that we can as we witness the Mobile One high-performance replay. And there it is. It's just a complete performance right now for Team Liquid.
Lockdown.
Yeah.
That was lockdown. I cannot imagine taking my time out and saying, okay, let's go out and do this, and you get beat even harder. It's just like, oof. That's a very bitter pill to swallow going into the potentially last game of the series. Yeah, shake it out, Drufinho. I was worried he was going to have to find, at least for me, some way to consistently get through that midfield of Team Liquid. And it's not just Drufinho, pretty much everybody on KRÜ has been kept dead quiet in terms of the transition game, and that's a credit to that great layering from Team Liquid on both sides of the ball.
Oh, it's a kickoff that for a second from that angle looked like Team Liquid were going to be able to prod it home, but instead KRÜ come back. Are they able to launch the Hail Mary? 3 games needed in a row to drop Team Liquid to the lower bracket of this group. Drufinho wants to get something going. He's been quiet, not just on the pitch, but his voice, himself, his personality. How rare is that to see a team that is off the back of a 4-3 victory over NIP, one of the main stage teams. But currently to another one in Team Liquid, not quite looking up to scratch. The better clearance though from Drufinho. Brad tries to follow it and can't do it. Drops the clean touch to the corner. Can he get the redirect on target? No, he can't. A chance goes begging. It was a tough one, but against Team Liquid, you got to take him.
Very tough one, but you got to try and put it on frame. That's what they're going for. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a return to sort of that old school South America. Look to send the house every single time as fast as we can, as hard as we can, and see if we can just overwhelm Liquid.
Easier said than done, of course. KRÜ tried that when they were a couple of goals down a few games ago and ended up conceding 4 more. That doesn't mean that won't happen here when all is even, and Liquid have to focus on defending as much as attacking at 0-0. Drufinho waits for Atto. That's good play from him. He chased it down. KRÜ have had more of the ball. And they're getting more clean touches too. Oski off the backboard. And he combined with Atto. The pinch isn't there, but the pass to Acronic is. He wants to go just wide the goal.
Man.
And he sinks it almost, but Drop saw it coming.
Huge save from KRÜ. I mean, you're certainly not expecting that type of touch from Acronic. KRÜ just happy that they had the personnel in place to keep it out of the net. As Atto may be caught leaning a little bit far forward, but he's still hunting for those demos. Surprised he's going to turn into the play and just keep Drufinho honest in the net.
Atto will go again, though, over Drufinho. To the backboard. Here comes Oski. They're peppering it now. Acronic had waited all the way back. Knows when his teammates are doing their duo thing. So waits for his moment. Gets it in the end. The flip reset isn't there, but this is what we saw in the last game. The first minute or so, KRÜ were playing okay, and then suddenly Team Liquid just completely wrestled the initiative away from them. Atto might be able to bump Brad King out the way. He can't quite get there. Drops, clears it long, but Team Liquid are turning the screw, Chiefs.
Terrible boost situation for KRÜ right now. Shots on target, not a lot in the tank. We've seen this happen a few times in this series, and more often than not, Liquid comes away with a goal, but a nice solid clear right down the middle, and everyone is able to catch their breath.
Everywhere KRÜ look, there seems to be a car in blue or in yellow, as the case of Atto, but not orange anyway. Drops the split reset, isn't quite there, and Oski can boom this one away, but this is better from KRÜ. There's a demo maybe off the ball. Drops with Oski just charging him down, and that's where KRÜ need to be a little bit better still. The challenge game. They have to put Team Liquid under pressure when they meet the ball.
And you can see that right there, that patience from Acronic. He's saying, look, I'm going to let my teammate force them to make a move. He's waiting deep back because they know KRÜ's going to try and dump that ball to space. And Acronic's just waiting for that first touch to come out, and then they go and steal it away, and everybody on Liquid has that type of approach at the midfield at the moment.
Drops, waiting for the boost in the Team Liquid half. Oh my! Showing how he's going to play it. A little team play doesn't quite happen. The interchange, though, was stunning. Team Liquid still unable to break the deadlock. Atto is beaten to the ball by Drufinho, who might be chasing this one himself, but Oski out wide to Drops. Atto still, has he even left the KRÜ Esports half? Look at him, he's refusing to rotate back. It must be so frustrating, Achieves.
That's what's been working, you know, they send someone deep back there just causing chaos, pushing that last man around a little bit. Sure, they don't always get him, but they make him react and then pop forward, skimmed off the crossbar. KRÜ missed the touch, and now they're going to continue to be under pressure here, but still deadlocked at 0-0.
I think KRÜ should get a goal just for making Atto rotate back to his own half, because he seems to be refusing for the most part. He's still there, in KRÜ territory. Wave dashing around the place, just buzzing in that bright yellow vehicle. Oski past Rufinho again. Team Liquid beginning to stretch their opponents. How much longer can this rotation last? Drops with Atto in front of him. Atto wants to clear the path, but Brad has a clean touch. Oski has to meet this one, put it onto the backboard, which he does do. But the mechanics from Liquid, in those awkward positions, they always seem to find themselves a way to clear it. Not now that Brad. Quick reset is only yet again as far as a Chronic, and Team Liquid are swallowing up these KRÜ attacks one after the next.
Oski, great job taking away Rufinho's options. Nasty ball here for Atto. Oski will help his teammate out and just smash that back up the pitch. Overtime looming, unless KRÜ can find something here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This could be it. The series could be coming to an abrupt conclusion. But Atto didn't go for the ball, or he didn't read it, or one way or another, maybe he wanted to have much more fun because he was enjoying this so much. Somehow Liquid don't score.
Don't think he had the boost to reach it. Ended up just falling to the floor. Either way, OT here. A much better game from KRÜ in terms of overall presence on offense. But you still got to think Liquid the ones dictating pace of play more often than not.
Yeah, and one pace beat against a KRÜ defender, and Liquid are through. That should have been game, set, and match. Will that weigh on Team Liquid's minds? Especially if KRÜ score, which Rufinho's going to make happen, and suddenly things get a little bit nervy in Camp Team Liquid.
Rufo pulls the string on him, everyone thinking a double tap, something towards the wall, and Oski trying to meet him right there for it. Rufinho let him go right by.
I'm pretty sure as well, I saw Liquid's coach expert do an immediate T sign with his hands, which our American viewers will know means...
Timeout.
Timeout. Maybe I imagined it, but I've got a feeling that they know that should have been game, set, and match. The fact their opponents are still alive will be worrying at the least.
But do they actually take one, right? They do indeed. Great eyes, Cole. You got a good spot. Woo. You were looking for that one. Credit to you. And man, I wonder if they put Atto's 0 second. No, not quite. Just see Rufinho pull the string on Oski there, and Chronic getting caught, thinking that some type of challenge was going to happen. Certainly not thinking that that one was going to go through for free, but the 628 score game from Rufinho, both of his other teammates under 200. But granted, it's not like they were doing nothing. Again, that was a hotly contested game on both sides of the ball for both teams. It was just finally Rufinho able to make something happen, and just happened to be a game winner.
Expert's saying a lot of words right now, but I imagine the meaning of all of them is pretty much, please don't change anything. Sure, yeah. We lost that game. There was a mistake at the end. We play that exact game 100 times. We win it 95 of them. You know, they were in control of the situation. They had more shots, more opportunities. KRÜ were having to make better saves, and at the very end, beating them to the ball one time, and you're pretty much through with an open goal. The worst thing Team Liquid could do now is have the panic alarms ring and go, oh, we need plan B, they're back, they're back.
And I do actually think that timeout is actually quite a disciplined decision. You know, when you think about Liquid's record on live events, they do tend to be like, hey, we're in good positions, and then before you know it, they end up in this deep game 5, game 7, and they've crumbled under that type of situation before a few times. So I think when it comes down to it, you get yourself on match point, you play solid enough, you could have won it, you end up losing. I think a timeout there just to steady the nerves and say, look, let's go into game 6, give it all we got, and then we'll worry about game 7. We don't have to get it in our heads too early. Let's say, look, just go right back out there, do it again, because we know it works, because those 3 games that Liquid won, it was crushing for KRÜ.
But it was a captain's moment for Rufinho, getting the winner there in overtime when his team haven't been playing at their best, a little bit muted, especially as we expect from them. What have you seen?
Teams to call a timeout at 3-2 on LAN win the series 90.91% of the time.
Wow.
10 out of 11. So Liquid, great choice here.
If anybody can name the one, they get 300 cheese points. Because I'm curious myself. But I'm also curious how the rest of this series is going to go. Are we going to see KRÜ at their Brazilian best? Or will Team Liquid continue to suppress their best?
Trying to take a little extra time on some of those approaches to the ball. Oski ripped on target. Rufo able to dodge a demo and make a couple of saves. Job not done here, though, for KRÜ, forcing a Chronic off the ball. And look at Drops having to dodge the demo. Brad's just in time. And I think you're on to something, Cole. It doesn't look like Liquid's changed anything
That's good. That's the best thing you can do. But KRÜ, they won like this last time. They are able to defend against Team Liquid, keeping them to a clean sheet as well. That might change here with Oski. There was drops at the far post. Achronic's turn this time into the top corner. Atto, of course, is getting involved. He can't help himself. But now Oski's left isolated one-on-one until Atto just demolishes everything.
Just continuing to pile on the pressure on that KRÜ defense. Brad, again, very disciplined there, out of his own half, realizing that space was being given, and in KRÜ's situation, you gotta take all the time you can, because they haven't had much of it with the ball, and they're doing their best to take it when they got it.
Oh, here's drops. He's found himself a little bit of space. Atto's chasing him in the air now, and he gets the bump as well. Atto,
right it.
You are pure evil, and it might be a counter-attack too.
Oh my days.
Oh my, I'm tilted. I'm tilted for KRÜ right now.
Oh, imagine that.
Oh, look at them getting each other's way. That's the Atto effect, Achieve.
It really is. That's what we talk about. They just keep driving at you, and you have to do something about it. Just completely ruins all of your approaches, all your plans. That's the old saying, right? Plans never survive contact with the enemy.
I don't think you can make any plans when Atto's on the field. Just charge into every situation and hope that you can't hear the music, the da-da, as he chases you. That touch was a little bit loose though. Trafinho finds drops. Maybe Trafinho's going to come back into this one. KRÜ need him now. They need their talisman, their captain, their leader to continue to step up. He did in the last game. That's a good charge forward. Atto just booms it long again. KRÜ won't mind this too much. The game's slowing down a little bit. Still 3 minutes on the board. They do not have to rush.
Ooh, nice 50 into the middle. Drufo, you gotta score it! And the toe is there to cover up. He had a chance to score. Not sure how much of the net was actually available to him, but he was in position at the very least.
Drops, takes a decent touch in the middle. Brad is wandering around, wondering if he can turn this into something. Drops was going for a bump or two on the way out, but not quite to be. Now Achronic gets it past Trafinho. Brad had to be alert there. I'm not sure he was expecting the shot against him, but suddenly it was happening. Till it falls for Drops, who tries to take it early. I'm not sure that was the call, though.
Wasn't I can see the idea, but you never know if the 2-on-1 would have had the time to really develop. You take the best chance you think you have. Unfortunately, defense for Liquid able to cover up just in time. As once again, harried in the net, Trafinho able to find a clear.
One of the most mechanical threes in World Rocket League, Team Liquid. The speed flip their way to any loose ball. And that's what we saw earlier, but KRÜ Esports, they're still trying to knock them down. Credit to them. They've stepped back up again. This is looking at least more like the KRÜ that we came here expecting to see. Trafinho to the ceiling. Atto reads it. Atto, the constant thought on KRÜ's side. Oski gets a bump this time. Atto into the corner. Achronic is just waiting to see what emerges in front of him as the picture gets painted. Atto gets a bump, but the chance is already gone. Drops continues. Oski to the side. KRÜ Esports is desperate for this goal. And they make it happen. When it falls for a Team Liquid player, here's Atto. He's got no boost at all. Gets for a second a taste of his own medicine. KRÜ in with a chance here, though.
Ooh, with a bump, but Oski again, that deep back rotation. That's the real three-headed Hydra of Team Liquid, right? You got one up front attacking you, forcing you to bob and weave. You got one in the middle ready to just shove you back into your own half. And even if you get through all that, the shield in the back to keep everything safe, but who cares about the back line? Atto says, where's the defense?
I didn't even spot any danger. Out of nothing, he's standing up again. Atto having the time of his life in this series. That is why he missed the open goal in the last game. He wanted more flip resets achieved.
Yeah, he had to save this one. He says, yeah, I missed the other one earlier, so I could hit this one that looks way better.
Yeah, that one goes on the highlight reel. Achronic, he almost makes it 3, but drops us back from the kickoff. Atto to the center. Brad is there. KRÜ Esports. You still have time. You still have an opportunity. But first you need the ball. And Team Liquid are not in the mood to let anyone have it except themselves. Atto's up. Atto shoots. It's wide for now. And then he follows it up. And he finishes things.
He would not be denied. Look at Oski just freezing all the defenders. And Atto, boy, oh boy, you talk about perfect timing. Hit that one off the wall right when he landed, instantly into the net. That's crazy.
And that may well be that. The Fat Lady is beginning to sing. Team Liquid have certainly almost ensured top 8 at a World Championships a year after coming together as a team. They couldn't compete at Worlds because they only came together in spring. And now here they are. KRÜ can't even get a consolation achieved.
You thought for sure with all that bumping and pushing and shoving in the Liquid net, something would drop for KRÜ, but denied, like you said, even the consolation. Truly a complete series from Team Liquid here.
And I say this as someone who's been casting them all season, one of the best performances I've seen Team Liquid put in quite some time. And when better, when it clears a path to top 8 of the World Championships. Team Liquid finish it, and they make it look comfortable.
A wonderful performance all around.